Hi, and welcome to Danny After Dark. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a notification or a new episode. Tonight is the weekly True Crime and Chill. I will be doing this one solo tonight. Mr. Beckham is not available. I have a feeling after the collab that we did earlier this week with the Liz and Omar from Boston Crime Tours, I have a feeling Beckham is on his way to Boston thinking that he now officially runs this city. But that's just my guess. But either way, he might pop in the chat. We'll see. But if you missed what I'm referring to, the collab on Boston police corruption, a past look and present look that me, Beckham, the Liz, and Omar did earlier this week. Check it out. We went just over 2 hours, I want to say. There's so much we could have discussed. Like, I feel like all of the topics we talked about was just like the beginning of like each thing. And there was so much like the past look. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. So if y'all aren't from here and you hadn't heard any of that stuff, let me know if you're like, I totally looked into this thing. Or if you are from here and you're like, Danny, I forgot about that. Or I remember when that happened, so on and so forth. Let me know, because it's just to relive so much corruption that happens from my home state. It's a lot, and it doesn't stop. Like, some of the stuff we'll be talking about tonight is still more stuff that has come up since that group collab we did. It just, oh my God, it blows my mind. But anyway, other than that, I hope everybody is doing great. A few administrative things. Book club, y'all. I am about 2/3 of the way done, and oh my gosh, I cannot wait to read and discuss this. And there are some people that aren't going to be on camera, and I'm not sure if they'll be able to be in the chat, honestly, who have bought the book and are reading it. And I've been messaging, oh my God, it's crazy. Like, it's like one of those, did you read this? Oh my gosh, yes. Like, there's so much to discuss. So I'm really looking forward to reviewing this book with y'all. So for those who will be joining, whether you're on camera or not, I'm really looking forward to reviewing that. And I hope you guys get something out of this book. Thus far, I recommend it to everybody to read. Like, everybody. I don't think the last 2/3 of the book will be like a disappointment where I change my mind and say, you know what? You can skip this one. I don't see that happening, but you never know. You never know. Let's see. I just made the event live. Live is in, like, you can now see it on YouTube. Next week will be the interview with the authors of J. Sebring, Cutting to the Truth. So if you have not watched my book review on that book, please check that out. I think it would be really good to, if you have not read the book, to hear my review of the book, to just get a feel for it, because there's so much in that book to discuss. And as much as I did a long review and kind of touched upon so many things, I think kind of going into that interview will be really good for everybody to kind of see if there was something that I didn't discuss that the authors want to then bring up. Then we have that there. And the interview will be live. Paulcast will be there. So I know everybody, we just have to deal with it. It is what it is. But it will be with the authors again, Anthony DiMaria and Marshall Terrell. So make sure you tune in. And that will be next Thursday. And that will actually be at a slightly different time. So it'll be Thursday the 20th. It'll be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. So that's 6:30 p.m. Pacific. So just a half-hour switch, because I have some things that night that I just could not jump on till 9:30. But there's going to be a lot to discuss. And I'm really, really excited and honored to have both Anthony and Marshall on for this interview. And Paul will be there too. But again, we'll just deal with it. So make sure you guys check that out. in regards to, let's see, some other stuff. Yeah, going into December, I will do my best in regards to like making sure I do the 2 shows a week. I don't know about y'all, but December is a crazy month for me. I feel like it is for everybody with the holidays, but when you kind of factor in like, just, I have dance and then, cat volunteering at the cat shelter. And there's just like, there's all these little things that individually are like, okay. And then like add in like the holiday season. It's like, oh my gosh, nonstop. But I have a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I'm working on to bring y'all. And it's really exciting. There's so much. I'm just so excited, but I can't talk about a lot of it yet. So tune in for that and stay tuned. Stay tuned. I announce things pretty much right away on Instagram. So go there if you want like the kind of like, okay, check that out. Breaking news type of thing. So let's see. I think that's kind of it for updates right now. But let's see who's in the chat and see how y'all doing. And we'll just kind of jump in. Tony Stewart, the first one. I'm here to support Danny. Well, your support is noted and appreciated. 8:21, very early, Tony, but thank you. Thank you, hon. Beers, good to see you. Hope you're doing well, Russell. I think I'm in a good mood. I hope it lasts. I hope it lasts too. I mean, it's the weekend, and depending on your schedule for this weekend, I hope it's a good one. I hope it's a good one. James Watson, never missing a beat. Hello, James Watson. Hi, Kane. Good to see you. Oh, Kane. Okay, I'm going to go through, but then I have something for you. Let's see. Didn't want to miss anyone. Capone from Vegas. Capone, what is going on in your state, hon? I mean, you're awesome with keeping me up to date with like any like breaking stuff with your state, but like even scrolling through Instagram, Vegas is like, there's a lot going on right there. And I'm nervous because I'm going there for CrimeCon. So yeah. Then again, I'm about to talk about more corruption in Boston. So I feel like it actually can't be as bad. So you know what? I retract that whole thing. Hope you're doing good. Hi, Shelly. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Maybe a good night to pick on Danny. Tony, if you came in the chat and were like, just super sweet and didn't pick on me, I would actually probably at the end of the show put in like a well-being or a wellness check because I'd be like, no, something's wrong with him. So yeah, carry on as usual. Beckham couldn't do a that mayor. Oh, Mayor Wu. Well, could Beckham do a worse job? Y'all. Beckham. He's not here. So I'm like, how much do I really want to rag on him? We'll see. Oh my gosh. Hi, Karen. Thank you. That is so sweet. Thank you. K-Dog. Hello, K-Dog. Good to see you. Let's see. Danny, is that your Susie Wong look? Hey, Sam Smith. I don't know who Susie Wong is. So you mean Susie, right? I don't know either way who you're referring to. Hey, Wolf, good to see you. I watched Danny's book. I took a week off work to do it. I know it was a long review. And there's so much I didn't talk about. Like there's so much. I really ended that show. I'm like, wow, that was a long review. I feel like I just like cracked the surface of that book. Like that's like legit how I felt. Hey, good to see you. Weird Debbie 1619. And yes, I know who you are. I just love saying that. It like gets me to like slow down and pause for a moment. Let's see. All good. Will it be a December to remember? Well, I will say, did me and James announce? So James, from the vinyl record community, I don't have the link to his channel right now. I'll post it once he makes the event. But the first Friday in December, we'll be doing our annual holiday collab. So this will be the 5th year that I go on James's channel and we do a holiday countdown, whether it's our top 10 holiday movies or top 10 holiday Christmas specials or whatnot. And this year we will be doing top 10 gifts that we've received, not in a way that it's like bragging, like, oh, I got this one year, because sometimes like the best gifts are the simplest and most meaningful. So we'll be doing that countdown, and that will be the first Friday of December, and that will be live and it will be in the afternoon. So stay tuned for that. And I will post that once James makes the event. But yeah, that's coming up. So, it's like what, 3 weeks, 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away, I think. Yeah, which is wild, like wild. Anyone who I haven't said, you are in a good mood tonight. It's kind of making me nervous. Hello. Oh my gosh, I'm totally gonna butcher your name. Chunli Hang 5643. Hello, good to see you. Hope you are doing well, and welcome. Okay, I imagine. Well, Wolf, I kind of want to time you out right now for even putting that image in my head. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie. My finger is like right near the timeout button. It is what it is. Hi, Judas Bruce. Good to see you. Stevie Nicks. Oh, come on. That's a whole conversation in itself, James Watson, and we'll let that go. All right, folks, we're almost 15 minutes in, so let's go ahead and kind of get started on what the heck is going on this week. So, update. We spoke last week about Latasha Daniels, right? And the trial. Again, I won't go into like a full recap. Yes, I did, Shelly. I did. I said hello. There were 2 of your posts that I acknowledged. Yeah, when you said you'd be in and out, and then you said I totally did go back. Every once in a while I skipped one, but I know I referenced yours twice. So, of course you get a hello. You get the biggest hello and the biggest hug, even in real life, because yeah. The door is open for the cats. Leia is in the cat tower up there. Usually I have one at my foot, but I don't see any tonight. So yeah, you're going to get timed out too, I swear. So Latasha Daniels, that was the whole trial that was going on with the pastor and the pastor's wife, where the pastor was shot and killed and the pastor's wife survived and took the stand. So I had a tab pulled up while we were live, and the update that was going on was it was in the hands of the jury, right? We end our show. I'm kind of winding down, getting ready for bed, and I do one of those like things that I should not do, is like one of those, and y'all know what I'm talking about, those like doom scrolls on TikTok, not TikTok, TikTok or Instagram, where it's like, let me just see what's going on, like 1 minute, just for 5 minutes before I go to bed. In reality, you scroll for like a half hour. And it was posted that Latasha Daniels was found guilty of 2nd-degree murder and reckless endangerment in the death of Pastor Perry and the injury of his wife, Tabitha. So we talked at length about this last week. What would a jury find her guilty of 1st degree? Could it be a lesser charge? I was thinking manslaughter. But a lot of people did think 1st degree. Could she get off and not get any, basically get off in regards to a mistrial? I couldn't see 12 people finding her not guilty, but all it takes is one holdout thinking, you know what, maybe it was from a place of like, something mentally where she just, was not aware of her actions, so on and so forth, right? But in the end, they found her guilty of 2nd-degree murder and reckless endangerment. So reminder, she was charged with 1st degree. And I'm as much as I thought they would probably do something lesser, I really feel she should have gotten first degree. I think there were so many actions that were taken, and I don't buy the story of I drove all that way to kill myself. I had to see him one more time, kill myself. I had the gun with me for it. There's just too many variables where I'm like, no, your story doesn't add up. I that's just my opinion. But in the end, a jury decided second-degree murder. So I'm really curious what you guys are thinking on that. Was that the right call? Do you think the jury got it right? Do you think they should have gone with first degree? Or do you think maybe there's just such a big mental health component that there should have been something different that was not on the table? Oh, we're going to Tony Stewart, Great Minds Think Alike. We will be talking about Diddy. He's on the docket for tonight. Don't you worry, hon. Casino Comp Wallet on Insta. Capone, can you message me that? Because I really will not remember when all is said and done at the end of the day. Message me that and I'll check it out. Thank you. Thank you for that. So second degree, I called manslaughter. I know, I was right there with you. I didn't think first degree would stick. Okay. No, that's totally fair. That was clever shit. So yeah, it's, I don't know. I have a lot of mixed feelings about it, but at the end of the day, she was found guilty and her sentencing will be December 17th. I don't know the laws in her state in regards to sentencing guidelines because every state does it slightly different, which like is really frustrating to be completely honest. But in the end, whatever. Oh my God, Kane, I did. 1 second. Let me type this up. Yes. Thank you. We'll see what the second degree sentencing is for Latoshia and Natasha. I totally butchered that. And yeah, I will keep you posted on that. But yeah, in the end, it's totally tragic. And my heart actually, it really just breaks for Tabitha because she was just caught up in all this. She didn't know any of this. She was just, her life is forever. She's injured from the shooting. Not only did she lose her husband, she lost her friend because Latasha was her friend. And then to find out all of this, it's just, and then the recordings of her husband, it's just horrible. My heart breaks for Tabitha. But in the end, sentencing is coming up next month, December 17th. I will keep y'all posted. No, okay. So Kane, my story, and I didn't have it, so I can't speak to it on merit, but I saw it in my scrolling. So what happened, Kane, is I think it's because, girl loves Starbucks, but I've actually kicked my Starbucks habit, which is like crazy hard, right? There's just so much sugar in it, so much sugar. So now there's several places near kind of where I either live or work or volunteer or dance. There's just kind of like protein shake places, mega tea places. Like I'm obsessed. Mega teas are like my new favorite thing, right? So with that being said, like that's my new thing. Healthier option, so on and so forth. With that being said, Kane, there's a chain. I don't know if it's in every state or not. If it's in yours, check it out. It is called Cafe Nero. So they have it was like, again, in my Instagram scrolling, they have like their holiday flavors. And what showed up was a tiramisu latte and then also a Bailey's latte. So again, I will not be trying it because I am trying to be better and healthier. But I saw it and I was like, oh my God. And there is a Cafe Nero near me. So I was like, oh man, but I won't do it. But if that is something that you are interested in, there's one near you, then check it out. So that's my story. Long story short. Yeah, it was, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Like, I didn't think a ton about it. And then when I kind of like stopped that and transitioned to just like healthier drinks, I was like, oh, much better, much better. All right. So, all right, I'm just checking my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything with that. Okay, cool. Good. So that is that story. Next case on the docket. Oh gosh, Boston police corruption at its finest, right? So Michael Cox, the police commissioner here in Boston. So we just talked about him on the Boston police corruption collab, right? News broke again. Was it I think it was today. So another claim has been filed, or lawsuit, I should say. So and I was reading through it and I was like, oh my God. Sent it to Beckham. So Beckham was aware. So Captain Timothy, and I'm totally going to butcher his last name. It's spelled Gaughan. Gone. So a 34-year employee of the Boston Police Department. So he filed a lawsuit where he's claiming he was told to change a police report involving another officer. And he's saying that direction to change that came from Police Commissioner Michael Cox. It came indirectly. So Captain Timothy's complaints comes from an incident that occurred on April 21st, 2018. So we're going back a bit. When he was lieutenant detective of the Internal Affairs Division. Gain. Probably. Thank you. I don't know how, you know what? I'm like, yeah, how did I get to saying what I probably, thank you, Capone. So what happened is Captain Timothy Gain investigated a confrontation between who was the then probationary officer. His name was Michael Augustine. He was off duty, but the thing was he was still in his uniform. And this incident involved a motorist at an intersection. And after the traffic incident, this probationary officer at the time, Brian Augustine, stopped his private vehicle, exited, and allegedly yelled at the other driver a bunch of expletives. And I totally butchered that too. Happy Friday. So Brian Augustine then prepared a police report for Gaines' team that they determined was false. And Brian Augustine's report really put the blame on the other driver, the motorist. Augustine's report was, again, it was just not accurate. He was claiming I was in the middle lane, not the far left turn only lane. But also it misrepresented to the responding officer that the other driver refused to produce his license and registration. So needless to say, not accurate. So Officer Gain, the one that, who was filing the lawsuit here, right? He said that the report had basically was not accurate, and then recommended multiple things to change in the report and included the phrase, quote, department reports truthfulness, end quote. So again, this was 2018. If you're thinking, okay, why is this relevant to today? So about 5 years later, so February 2023, this was after Officer Gain had been transferred out to a new position. The superintendent in chief, Philip Owens, he allegedly called Officer Gain and he said he was, and here's where the thing is, he said he was calling on behalf of Police Commissioner Michael Cox, right? So Superintendent in Chief Owens is requesting that Officer Gain change the finding of department reports truthfulness to a lesser charge of, quote, neglect of duty, unreasonable judgment, and that he altered the narrative to, quote, remove any indication that Officer Augustine lied during his interview. That is insane. 5 years later, he's being asked to change his report. Again, it is Superintendent in Chief Philip Owens making the phone call saying he was calling on behalf of Police Commissioner Michael Cox. So this lawsuit that Officer Gain has filed is stating that they are asking him to alter this report. Officer Gain says he refused to change the officer's dishonest actions in his narrative, which, you know what? Good for him. Good for him. When I said during the collab that there are some good, really good Boston police officers, this is one that is like, no, like I'm doing the right thing here, and said he wouldn't do it. So you guys are so funny in the chat. Now there is an internal affairs investigation because of this. Because what we've learned that the officer who was involved in the original incident, so Officer Augustine, this was not his first brush with kind of stepping out of bounds with his position, if you will. He, since being hired in 2017, has a lot on his record. 13 internal affairs cases and 26 sustained violations. That is insane. The internal affairs investigation indicates, for one example, that Officer Augustine was stopped in January of 2020, quote, for drag racing in Revere, end quote. And if anybody who's from here and knows Revere, you're just like, wait, what? Yeah, police officer doing this. And there was another incident that led to charges of conduct unbecoming. I don't quite know that could cover a lot of things. It doesn't specifically say though what that was. So a separate allegation also says, quote, association with criminals, end quote. So there is again a long history with this Officer Augustine. So there was, let's see, a 20 in regards to a 2018 traffic incident. He signed something called a last chance settlement agreement. And these are things I really don't know, like deep dive what those things entail. But again, it's called a last chance settlement agreement. And his punishment under that agreement was a 15-day suspension. In regards to a lot of the other charges that he has, they're still listed as pending. So in regards to the lawsuit, Officer Gain, the reason why he filed the lawsuit now is he's saying after he refused to comply with the request to kind of alter his report and basically shift blame from Officer Augustine and shift it onto the other, the motorist, I should say, he faced retaliation that included being bypassed for a promotion to police captain in 2023, despite the fact he was ranked #1 on the civil service eligibility list or eligible list, which is insane, The person that got the position was ranked 3rd, and Officer Gain's promotion, although he did get one, it was delayed for a year, which that sucks. Like that sucks. So nonetheless, Officer Gain has now filed this lawsuit, and yeah, it's just another notch in the books for Michael Cox because it's just another accusation. So yeah, I just have to do one quick thing. So hold tight, y'all. I will be back in 1 second. And yeah, you get a cat. All I can say is cat mom duties, they never stop. And I'm pretty sure that, oh no, it's Selena. She won't knock anything over. Luke would, but not Selena. So yeah, that is what's another thing going on in Boston here. So let's just see. I don't want to miss any of y'all's comments on this. Yeah, a lot of it was, how I mispronounce Officer Gain. Totally worried. What kind of drag racing? Not drag. Yeah. Funny. I have no clue. Let's see. Discrimination suit. He will win. Oh. You know what? Nothing. No. Yeah, it's just so infuriating because it just really goes to show, no, it is not crooked again. I don't think so. I'm looking at it now I don't think so. It's just so infuriating because there's just never a dull moment. Like when I sent the article to Beckham earlier tonight, I was like, not a single day. There is not a single day where another corrupt law enforcement officers in the news. And it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating because I know that all it takes is like one or two, the saying, like one bad apple to spoil the whole bunch, right? But it just like when it's like day after day after day, it's so frustrating. And it's also frustrating in addition to that, Selena, there are so many good officers that, they're being pictured and kind of portrayed the same way as those that are doing these horrible things that like, oh, you must all be corrupt or you must all be breaking the rules, so on and so forth. And that's not the case, but I can see why so many people would just say, I have no faith in law enforcement. Just put a blanket statement of, I have no faith in law enforcement. And it's just so frustrating. It is so frustrating. But we'll see what happens with this lawsuit. This is one that I very much will be looking at because I find it very interesting. And we'll see what will come of it. But I don't know what will come of it, to be honest, because there seems to be a lot where it's just like a, kind of like a slap on the wrist type of thing, right? Seems like corruption is endless. Wolf, absolutely. That is so well said. Like, absolutely. I don't know. I'm totally behind in the chat and missing where that is, but I will read it later and catch up. So Tony Stewart, you mentioned earlier Diddy, and I mentioned he was on the docket for tonight. Yes. So a little bit of an update for him. So let's just rewind. Let's just rewind and have a little bit. Oh my gosh, Selena jumping up on the thing. Hold on, folks. Hold on. Ooh. All right, we got a kitty. I just don't want the water to spill on my computer. We have Selena here. All right. So, all right, let's move that out of the way. I was so afraid that was going to knock over. Well, story time, Selena. So before Diddy was sentenced, he wrote a letter to the judge. We talked about that a little bit for when me and Beckham recapped when he was sentenced. And in that letter, he talked about how this was the first time that he got sober in 25 years. In addition to the letter, again, because Diddy and his attorneys are trying to put him in a positive light, hoping for a reduced sentence. I mean, Diddy really thought he was just going to walk right out of prison that day. Let's be honest. We all know that. He had planned a party the following week. Well, nonetheless, that didn't work. It didn't work. So in the letter to the judge, he was saying that he had been attending therapy and he started a mentorship program for his fellow inmates. So all of these wonderful things. Again, I'm going to repeat. He said in the letter he got sober, quote, for the first time in 25 years, end quote. Now, Sean Diddy Combs was in the news for creating and consuming alcohol while in prison. Now, due to this, oh, she is so sweet. Like, Selena is a love bug. She's an absolute love bug. So now, because of this, his prison release date has been pushed back for about a month, which on the one hand, it's like, really, that's all. But on the other hand, it's like, the judge could have done nothing. It could have been another slap on the wrist. But I think the fact that he got something was, you know what, good. Like, let's make you an example. I was hoping for, add another 20 years. Add 20 years. Oh my God. She is purring. I don't think the mic's picking that up, but she is purring. Yeah, so he was previously scheduled for release for May 8th, 2028. So if you go on the Bureau of Prisons website, which I actually did to confirm this, it now shows he has an anticipated release date of June 4th, 2028. So of course, Diddy's team, so his representative has denied the report that he created and consumed alcohol. And a spokesperson for Fort Dix, where Diddy is serving time, made the following statement. Quote, "We have no knowledge of this information. Further, we would not be able to disclose any information pertaining to internal inmate matters. It would not be public information," end quote. I'm not surprised by that statement. That's pretty straightforward. His spokesperson saying, or Diddy's representative saying, that's not true. I'm not surprised by that either. But nonetheless, yeah, he just, like everything with him, with Diddy is like, I'm a better man. I've changed. And then something happens. I'm a better man. I've changed. And then something happens. Like, it's just wild. It's not surprising, but yeah, that's what happened with Diddy. So thank you. So in regards to Selena, so I can see y'all spelling her name like the singer. So it is actually spelled Selina. So she is named Selena after Selena Kyle, Catwoman. So yeah, and she's purring even louder. So I don't know if it's loud enough for the mic to pick up, but yeah, so that, no, she is not on catnip, actually. I did not put any out yet. Yeah, so that's the update with Diddy. So, has a catnip habit. What cat doesn't have a catnip habit? So, next update. And this was one that we talked about in the collab for the Boston police corruption, is the Cheshire Police Chief Michael, this is what I made Beckham say, Alabozic. So recap, he had solicited sex from an individual and had them meet in the parking lot of a middle school / high school in Cheshire, Massachusetts. He was not aware that it was an undercover cop that was arranging this. And I will say when I am wrong, but I'm never wrong. No, my mind jumped right away, and I kind of said this without kind of like stopping and thinking when we were live, and I forget who it was. Was it Omar or Liz that had said like, well, we don't know, and they were absolutely right. My mind went to the fact that it was in the parking lot of a middle school, high school. So my thought was it must be with somebody underage, and it wasn't. So that was my bad for just kind of blurting out what I was thinking. It was, and he thought it was with somebody who was, again, over 18, an adult. We're learning so much about this incident because Law and Crime picked it up, which is, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm sure all the news networks like Law and Crime, Court TV, so on and so forth, are just like, what the hell is going on in Boston? Like, what is going on in Massachusetts? It's like every day we're covering something, right? So in this case, we learned more because Law and Crime picked it up. He had $500 cash on him when he was, arrested by officers. And that was the amount of money that he had offered to the woman he was messaging with through this app. And Law and Crime, they break down and discuss the whole back and forth conversation between him and this woman that he thought he was meeting. including she asks the question like, oh, what do you want to do to me? And he says, and it's like, I'm like, I'm not going to quote this stuff. Like, come on. So it was his idea to meet at the middle school / high school because he was saying, oh, you can't come to my house because my kids are going to be home soon, which like, who, I'm like, do people really like to each their own? But it's illegal in Massachusetts. But was the thought in his mind really on the table to like meet at my house, except, not tonight because my kids are coming home soon? Like, to me, to put that statement there, I'm like, again, and this is just me thinking out loud, was your house ever an option? Weird. That's just weird to me, right? So when he was busted, and y'all, I need to know your thoughts on this. I've already messaged with Beckham about it. When he was arrested, of course, he's saying not guilty, and that we knew. He's saying, yes, I was on the app. Yes, I was on the websites, but I'm doing this to save women. He said to arresting police officers, he's done this about 3 or 4 times. And when he meets with the women, says this is not the way of life. There are resources. How can I help you get out? Stop doing this type of thing, right? And he's saying, there are other women, the 3 or 4 I've met with, that can corroborate my story that that's the case. But then goes on to say, well, actually, those women can't corroborate my case because they're no longer on the apps. They're no longer on the website, so I can't find them. What? Like, what? It blows my mind. Like, I have a saying, and my friends know this saying. I say it all the time. My coworkers know this saying. I say it all the time. Even like the other volunteers at the cat shelter, my dance friends. If you're gonna lie, just be better at it. Like, be better. Don't lie in the first place. But if you're gonna lie, like, I feel so bad for his wife and 2 kids that are being dragged through this because, shame is going to follow. I mean, his career's done. It's done. But for his wife to have to go through this now, his kids, you guys are wild. You guys are wild. Yes, I have 3 or 4 people that corroborate my story. Oh, actually, no, I don't, because it's like, okay, he had to come up with something as to why he was on those apps. Be better at it. For real. Like, again, I'm the type, like, with me, I'm like honest to a fault where like what you see is what you get. And my big mouth and my opinion sometimes, does it get me in trouble, or it's one of those like, Danny, did you really just say that? And I'm like, yeah, I sure did. Wish I didn't. Like, that type of thing, right? Like, that is me to a fault. Like, what you see is what you get. But like, again, if you're gonna lie, be better. Oh, no worries. No worries. Hello. Good to see you. Lot of Boston stuff. Yeah, when I finally got to hear when Law and Crime was breaking it down, like, oh, he's not guilty, according to him, but here's why. I was like, what? My mind never would have went there. Never would have went there. I'm not going to lie. I'm really looking forward to following this trial. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to, or maybe he won't fight. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen from this. If it will be kind of like a closed door thing. I don't know. But when Law and Crime picks up your case, it is very public. That is not good. That is not good. So we'll see. But I found that very interesting as like, that's his story. So Danny needs lying pointers. I know, right? Me saying stuff that like, there are like, honestly, there are times where like, it's like, will think it and say it. And then it's like the next second, I'm like, damn. Yeah, I've had my whole life, like, family say, like, you were never born with, like, the brain to mouth filter where, like, people will think something and you pause. And then you say something. Like, I was not born with that. I wasn't. Which on the one hand, it's like, again, what you see is what you get. Like, you're always going to get a very honest opinion. But on the negative side, you're going to get a really honest opinion. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, we will see. I will keep y'all posted because this is something I'm very much interested in. James, hello. I didn't see you sneak in there. My 50. Okay. UK, because I don't know what that means pound wise. But dog sits in the same position as your cat. That's funny. That's funny. So let's see, had a friend. She used to have like Great Dane dogs. Like, that was her thing. And like anytime, like, going over her place or sitting on the couch, like, yeah, like in hindsight, this was before I was a cat lady. Her Great Danes, I mean, they were huge. They would just come and sit right on your lap or sit right next to you on the couch and just snuggle right up. And I'm just big dogs. Yeah. Which, like, I mean, I'm a pet person anyway, but I look back and I'm just like, oh my God, like, that dog could have crushed me, like, totally crushed me. Yeah. So just making sure I'm caught up with y'all in the chat. Don't want to miss anything. Okay. 100. What type of dog is that? Okay. Now I need to know what type of dog that is. 112 pounds. James, that's crazy. Danny always tells me the truth, even when it's hurt. Well, that's what friends are for, right? That's what friends are for. Yeah, I really want to know the breed of your dog, James. Very curious. Very curious. 112 dogs. 112 dogs. 112 pounds. Hun, I don't know what that is. We're going to do a quick Google because I really want to see right now. I'll always take, oh, Cosmo's popping in here. Okay, I know what that, okay. Didn't recognize the name, but when I see the picture, I'm like, okay, got it. Okay. Beautiful dog. Beautiful, beautiful dog. Very cute. 112 pounds. That's awesome. Okay. So moving on to next case. She should be about 100 pounds, to be honest. You know what? We don't judge. I love your dog. Love your dog. 100 pounds or 112 pounds, I don't care. Love your dog. And yeah, so cute. So cute. I love that. So next, and is this the last one? So, okay, this is the last one I have notes on, to be honest. But other than that, then after that, we'll do a little bit of a hang in regards to, let's just have a place where we all kind of talk about what's big thing going on this week, and just as friends be able to share that. But we'll get to that in a second. So last case I have notes for. So Brian Walsh. Again, another Massachusetts thing. But this is live today. So he was undergoing a competency evaluation, right? He is going to be standing trial for the alleged murder of his missing wife, Anna Walsh. And again, we've talked about this being back on for a long time since she was missing. And then, in regards to items of hers, belonging of hers being found, his alibi not adding up, and the iPad searches. So that's this case. So he was stabbed recently in jail, went to the hospital. He was released a few hours later. Everything was fine. But then his attorneys were like, oh no, he's actually mentally, he's not doing well. He's not fit to stand trial. So he, for more than a month now, has been undergoing a competency evaluation, like I said. Well, as of today, a judge determined he is fit to stand trial for murder. Who's back? Selena's back. So that means the jury will be, we have to go through jury selection now, but it's going to start next week. So what was said from the judge was, quote, I received a report from Bridgewater State Hospital, a comprehensive report from Dr. Ryan. And in the report, Dr. Ryan concludes that the defendant is competent and ready to stand trial, end quote. So, sorry, lay us down there. We will be finally getting the Brian Walsh case. And the little caveat to that is I am very curious to see what happens, because some of the same law enforcement officers, state police officers that worked this case, worked the Karen Reed case, including Trooper Michael Proctor. And there's this whole issue with them not getting the proper search warrants for that iPad, that damning iPad with all of those searches. So I don't know 100% yet what will be allowed and what won't be. I mean, obviously the defense wants that evidence tossed, understandably, and that would be a huge blow to the state and the prosecution if that's the case. We will see what happens, but this is a case that, oh my gosh, if you're from New England, in this case, like, we've been waiting for this case. So the Liz, y'all, if you are not following her on Instagram, please do so. It's the Liz Files. She not only posts like kind of breaking true crime news, but when she does it, she'll do like a thorough write-up with it. And she has been following this case since day one. And the amount of research Liz has done into the background of Brian Walsh, she knows so much about this case. So we have a joke that she's my official Brian Walsh news correspondent. So she knows good and damn well she needs to be here on the show each week to kind of recap and say, here's what happened this week in the Brian Walsh case. Because not only will I be watching it, but she's going to be watching it, and she knows this case inside and out way more than I do. So we will see, but really, really looking forward to seeing how this case goes, because it's like we all know. I get it, like, everybody's innocent until proven guilty by a jury of their peers. I get that. Y'all, like, look at the evidence against him, and then to think that like the state police like really fucked it up and some evidence might get excluded is like, it blows my mind. We will see. Tony Stewart is saying that Brian Walsh needs to man up real quick, complain about this, and that is not the way to go and lock up. Thank you, Tony Stewart. Yeah. And they have, what's so sad is Brian and Anna have 3 small kids. I believe the ages at the time of Anna's disappearance in alleged murder, 6 years old, 4 years old, 2-year-old, I want to say. But they 3 kids under 6. The oldest was 6, because it was the 6-year-old, his iPad that Brian was doing all those searches on, which is like just another level of like disgusting. Like, just you're using your kid's iPad to search. Y'all, if you need a recap of what he searched, all those searches, just do a quick Google, read through them, and you're going to be like, what the hell? Like, what the hell? And now those kids don't have either parent. Like, and sadly, this is not unique to true crime cases. We see this very frequently when people, oh, I did it so that I'd have my, well, now your kids don't have anyone and you killed their other parent. Like, it's just disgusting. It's disgusting. So Capone, great minds think alike, hun. I have said that since day one to Liz, like when me and her, because we talk about this case all the time, right? I'm like, there's 3 ways that Brian Walsh and his team can argue those searches if they don't get excluded. One is, I have no idea. The second is, yes, I made those searches, but you're taking them out of context. Or the third is blaming his son for those searches. To me, those are the only three options. And we will see what comes of that. If there's a different option that I'm not thinking of, like, please let me know. But Capone, that's the one I'm thinking that he might go with, because like everything. And if you deep dive Brian Walsh's history, like he has been a con artist and a scammer like for years and years and years and years and years. So for him to throw his own son under the bus, if you will, to me, it would not be out of the realm of possibilities. Other cases, I might be like, oh, they might just play dumb and say, I don't know. But with Brian Walsh, like I would not be shocked if he's like, oh, my son did those searches. So that's, again, what I'm thinking might be a possibility. Capone, he could just say he's a big old true crime nerd. None of us here has a clean search history. Except he's not into true crime, allegedly, as far as we know. I mean, but again, that would kind of fall under the, yes, I made those searches, but you're taking them out of context because. So I'll meet you halfway there, Capone. I'll meet you with that. And then Tony, I did see you come in the chat. Didn't mean to ignore you, hon. Hope you're doing well. Innocent until proven guilty, unless you're on social media. Proctor turned off the GP at a squad. K-Dog, I know. Oh, there's so much that's gonna come out with this. In regards to we talked about this a bit on Tuesday on the kind of Boston police corruption panel episode that we did. And there's still more that hasn't come out about Proctor searches. So could there be more that impact this case? Absolutely. Could there be more that impact cases that have not yet gone to trial? 100%. Could there be more that impact cases that have already gone to trial and there are people in jail? 100%. Like, this just fucks up everything. I will say, before I went live, so shout out to Defense Diaries. So Bob Motta, I had him on here, what was it, last month, I want to say? Time has moved so fast. It was after CrimeCon, but before. So it's sometime within the last like month and a half, I had him on. So Defense Diaries. So him and his wife, Ali Motta, this is related to this K-Dog, I promise. I'm not just going off on a tangent. They did a show. Let me pull up because I was literally just listening to it before I came on. So they did it 9 days ago. And again, both Ali and Bob, defense attorneys. So this episode was Proctor's phone secrets, good, gone, and more Canton corruption. So point being, they, from their, angle as defense attorneys, were talking about these, the texts that have come out from which we aren't privy to, but the courts are, in regards to what Proctor was texting. Again, they know who he was texting with. Are there other officers that are involved in this that are going to be held? It's a big thing. So to hear Ali and Bob kind of go over it from the defense, it's really, really good. I think I have like a half hour left of the show. I was just listening to it as I was getting ready. Again, they did the live 9 days ago, so I know I'm a bit behind, but really good if you guys want to listen to that. Really, really good. Tony Stewart. Oh, yep, we already talked about that. Okay. Okay, Jimmy Buffett. You guys are so funny. I saw him in concert a few times, Jimmy Buffett. Did the whole tailgating thing before too. That was back in the college days. Yeah. He could just say, we already talked about that. Okay. Yeah, so, all right, folks, that is the notes I have for tonight. So we're just at an hour. What I want to do is, and I was on the fence with, do I cover this? But there's so much to cover that, like, I started doing notes, to be honest, for tonight. And then I was like, there's so much. It could be a show in itself. And there's just so many avenues that I don't really know where to begin and where to go in the middle and where to end. I just want to make this an open talk with y'all. And I'm talking about Epstein in regards to all of these emails that have been coming out implicating Trump. But there's a million different directions this would go, right? And I know one of the big things that the reason I do these live shows with y'all is so that we have that interactive and kind of just we're hanging out together. We're just friends chatting about like, what's our opinion about what's going on? And if y'all kind of want this to be a safe place where it's like, yeah, this is how I'm feeling about this. Or, hey, here's my thoughts. Like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I will say, with that being said, this is not and has never been a like, let's talk politics type of thing, right? So obviously with President Trump being kind of mentioned in all of this, there's no way to go around that. But I don't want to see, if anybody does want to kind of talk about it in the chat, I don't really want to see like for example, oh, those emails, this is why Republicans this, or this is why Democrats this. Like, we don't need that. We just need like it a bit more focused on Epstein, which it's, as I'm reading this book for book club, and then the whole news with the, Epstein emails, kind of coming out to light and resurface, it's just like, oh, there goes Cosmo and Loki. It's crazy, right? Okay, the cats they're on something right now. So anyway, yeah, it's just, I've been trying to keep up with it as best I can. There's just so much. There is so much. But yeah, what are you guys thinking? And if you're like, you know what, keep it, you don't have to say, but again, we're all friends. We're hanging out here. This is the space to do that. And I'm just making it very true crime and chill, very chilled right now. Okay. James, if I'm ever arrested for anything and they look at my search history, the headline is going to be serial killer obsessed weirdo. I mean, James, honestly, I feel like that might go for like almost all of us in the chat here to some varying degree. Because that's one of the things. It's so funny because what's one of my True Crime All the Time, Mike and Gibby. They're one of my favorite podcasts. I've been listening to them for years and years and years. They have such a great banter. And one of the things they always joke about is like, because a lot of people get busted with their search history. Trooper Proctor. But they're like, yeah, if someone ever looked at our search history, it's like, oh my gosh, what are you guys researching? But then in the context of like, oh, I host a podcast, or oh, I do YouTube, or oh, I'm just into this for this reason, whether it's to get, a better understanding of like why people do what they do, or there's a million different reasons. And I feel like, honestly, like, yeah, it's like kind of like funny on the one hand, but it's also like, the true crime community has really like taken off over the last like 5-10 years. Like growing up, I always say this, I couldn't talk to anybody about true crime. No one in my like real life was ever into it, ever. So like when the pandemic started and I go online, like we all did, and met Beckham, met Paul from Paulcast, and then to be able to like start our Manson show and then do this with y'all, it's like, wow, I have other people that are like into this for people are into it for different reasons. And then being friends with Liz forever and her not being into true crime. And now she is, which like on the one hand is like amazing because we message like nonstop all the time. But then I'm like, girl, the past like 30 years, we could have been talking about X, Y, and Z, but you weren't into it then, which is funny. Sorry, just a side tangent. That kind of was, yeah, that. Okay, K-Dog is saying out of context emails with redacted parts. Nothing is real anymore. Okay. Love politics. I know you do. So behave, Tony Stewart, behave. The book is so good. Are you done with it? Are you done with it? I'm 2/3 of the way done. The Liz is reading it too, and she texted me, was it last night that she finished it? Which I'm hoping she'll be on for the review. I know it's Thanksgiving week, and that's why I'm doing the review, the book club review on the Tuesday, the 25th, because we usually do it the last Thursday of the month, right? And the last Thursday of the month here in the States is Thanksgiving. So I'm like, okay, can't do that. So do it Tuesday. But the Liz pointed out, well, like, a lot of us travel. I'm like, ugh. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I hope you are in the chat. I hope you are in the chat. If not on camera, and if you want to come on and talk about, like, more than welcome, more than welcome. Sorry, totally off topic. I think you nagged a few times. I nagged you. You just got killed in prison. No pressure. Interesting. Okay, okay. Yes, it's on. I still have the list going. I have honestly, if y'all noticed, kind of stepped back from covering solved cases. Not that I don't want to do that. It just seems that in regards to the bigger response of what, as an audience, y'all seem to gravitate more, request more of, is the book reviews. Y'all are like really into the book reviews. And then when I have other, I really love having other creators on where it's either podcasts or other YouTube channels that I really enjoy, and I want to share that and be like, let's talk about it. And y'all go follow them too. Excuse me. But yeah, I've kind of stepped back from the solved cases because it seems like book reviews are kind of what you guys are wanting more and more, which for a book nerd like myself, like, speaks to my heart in a way that y'all will never know or understand or appreciate. But I still have my list, and he is on that. So yeah, getting killed in prison recently. Yeah. And there are some cases where I've already like done the notes. So it's like, it would be ready for me to just kind of jump in and do a show. And I do still have those put to the side, but yeah, the book reviews is kind of what y'all seem to be wanting. But again, it's whatever. It has not been forgotten. Long story short. Behave, Tony Stewart, behave. James Watson, the Epstein email that just got released that blew me away was Epstein saying Hillary Clinton had an affair with Vince Foster, the first of the suicides. Gotcha. Yeah. Yep. Tony Stewart. Yep. Read that. I'm going to be very like purposefully, not that I don't have my own opinion on it, but like I'm impartial as I'm reading this with you guys, right? Because I don't want anybody to like, I don't want to read any of your comments and be like, oh, or that, like, because we can, like, there are so many things that we all kind of talking about here, like yeah, we're always not on the same page, and that's totally cool. But I think more so like with this topic, I just want to really try to be neutral, and so that everybody feels like, yeah, you know. Hey, Renee was tied up tonight working on a big project. When you say big project, because like your life is like one of the most amazing out of like anybody I've ever met. Oh my God, Renee, what could that be? That could be like a million different, like, amazing things. So, but other than that, I hope you're enjoying your evening, Renee, and good to see you. Danny, talking politics will get me banned or maybe arrested. Okay, no, that's fair then. That is fair then. Sometimes there are some topics that get discussed, and sometimes I see it in the chats but again, like during shows where, especially, I think more so when it's the chilled back and relaxed ones with me and Beckham, where some of you guys will having like your own kind of separate conversations in the chat, which is amazing. But I see it. You all do your thing while we're talking about X, Y, and Z. And some of it where I'm just like, oh, I really agree with that. Or I'm like, ooh, I don't agree with that at all. But that's totally cool. Totally cool either way. But it's one of those, like, I won't weigh in. And that's probably for the best. But yeah, no. So do what you need to do, Tony Stewart. We want you to, I want you to stay here. Again, so do what you need to do, hon. James, I'm in the UK. Yeah, I know you're in the UK. Okay, so and then staying away from Trump, etc. What I will say is what is happening in the USA is slowly happening in the UK. Interesting. I don't know. I'm not up to date on like the ins and outs of the government structure in the UK. I will say that. But with that being said, kind of having the connections and friendships that I have formed with other content creators that aren't from here and from other countries, to be able to hear from them, just like, because it's one thing for me to just go online and be like, oh, what is the what is X, Y, and Z, right? That's one thing. But to have like other people that I can be like, hey, like on the real, like no bullshit. What is going on with this? Or what is your thoughts with this? And to have those kind of more raw and just straightforward, no bullshit conversations is so enlightening. It's so enlightening. And it's also very, on the one hand, it can be frustrating because it's like, what the hell is wrong with the world, or what the hell is wrong with it? And to hear other people that I consider friends now from other places that have, where I'm just like, be honest, what's going on in the US, regardless of kind of what political affiliation you are, what does it look like from another country, an outsider looking in type of thing, right? And to get that perspective, I think is very, very interesting. Very interesting, because James Watson, you're here every day in the chat, right? Paul from the Paulcast, who isn't always in the chat, but like, a close friend that like, who doesn't hold back. And for anybody that watched the Manson show, that about Paul. But I mean, he's, just over in Canada, and which again, very different kind of political atmosphere. But so a lot of times I get his like take on like, oh, geez, y'all with this, X, Y, and Z. But so I'm used to that. I'm used to getting that kind of input from Paul, and being kind of, friends with Paul and Fiddle, like to kind of get that, like, well, I kind of know what way you guys think. So I kind of know that's framing your view of what's going on here. Right. But yeah, other countries, including, some other content creator friends I do have in the UK or Ireland, or, Scotland, your whole, New Zealand, it's just Australia too. It's very interesting to kind of have those dialogues. Very interesting. And especially right now, it's just like, I feel like it's like everybody's talking about these Epstein emails, and it is very interesting how the conversation's going, in DMs I'm having, or, texts or phone calls, where it's like conversations with other people who live here in the US, and then those who aren't, kind of their take on it. It's just it's so interesting. I really like to hear the whole like view of how everybody's taking this in, because there's a lot of ways to look at it, right? Danny has a list, release the list. I mean, yeah, Matt. If I had the list, yeah, like, no. What I want to say, I can't say on air. I've been watching the news. K-Dog saying, I've been watching the news as it happened on the JFK assassination. It's interesting watching how things were reported in real time. Very well said. Very well said. I need to reread again and take notes. That's it. That's exactly. Okay. 100% we were on the same wavelength. That's early. Like, I honestly, when I started to do notes for tonight's show, like when this kind of first, like, oh, I've seen emails, I'm like, okay. And then it's like, there's a million different and I'm like, I in the end, I can't do it justice. I'm like, okay, should I do a separate show on it and talk about it with you guys? But then I'm like, it's so complex. Like, it's so complex. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love the feline backgrounds. Thank you. It's my life. It is my life. There's always a cat, always a cat. Let's say, as I look up, and like Leia's in the cat tower, just like staring at me. I'm thinking, please don't jump and knock over all my stuff. Because she's the one that like jumps up there and like bats the pictures and then gets them uneven, and then James Watson complains. So it involves going to Scotland. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. You should I don't know if you've been there before, Renee. I've not been there. Paul from the Paulcast, he has family over there, and I'm not doxing anything because he's talked about it on camera before, so he's been. So depending on where you're going there, definitely reach out to him if you need any. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm about to say this. If you need any advice or any, yeah, that is real disgusting for me to say. Renee, let's just act like we didn't just have this conversation. Don't reach out to Paul. Everything's fine. But I'm very intrigued with your going to Scotland. Very cool. Danny, I would have a terrible time being neutral-minded in these situations. Yeah, not easy. Not easy. I don't want it to seem like it's like, oh, that's like the easy way to like, no, because like I said earlier, I'm a like blurt it out and say it. What you see is what you get person. And it takes a lot for me to kind of have the thought and wind it back. So very difficult. So Tony, I feel you on that. It is not easy. Renee says politics are tearing people apart. Yeah, it absolutely is. I recently went through a breakup with a close friend. I didn't expect it. Yeah, that is, you are definitely not the only one that has had, lot of people, lot of close people. I feel you. I think a lot of us probably in the chat can be like, yeah, Renee, we've been there. We know exactly. Yeah. And I feel like there is so much that has happened in the US, again, depending on, everybody's entitled to like kind of their different viewpoints on it, but there's been so many kind of like monumental things that have happened where it's kind of put that pressure and that strain on friendships and relationships, whether it's friends, family, coworkers, acquaintances or whatnot. And it's kind of like, oh, wow, like I didn't know you thought that way about this. And a lot of times it's big deals. It is very big deals. So yeah, we will, yeah, definitely. I feel you on that. One again, Kat. So trying to be truthful here. No, and that's very appreciated. Hey, Zach, good to see you. Let's see. I know I'm a few minutes behind in the chat, so my apologies. I watch UK politics very closely. Oh, cool. Feels like every system is broken now, and all you can do is focus on your own money, family, sanity. Well said. Hey, Israel. Opium for the people. Let society fall. Ain't nothing you can do. Beat our heads against the wall. I like that. Tell the truth, I have been banned. To tell the truth, I've been banned from a number of sites here in the US and Korea for getting remote. Oh, interesting, Tony. Very interesting. Be careful in the UK. Thought police are out there. Speak of the devil. I've been in trailer parks with less drama than US politics. Oh, this is my fault. Again, I know I'm a few minutes behind in the chat, but like, when Beetlejuice, right? When you say Beetlejuice, he just appears. I feel like I just did that with Paul, and now he just appeared. And now I regret it. Hi, Paul. James, do you live you do the lives at a certain time. I've totally lost touch. Okay, I used to always catch you after a night out, but I'm getting old, so I don't go out as much and my routine is broken. That's funny. Typically, when I start them, I do 9 p.m. Eastern, which is my time zone, because I try to factor in those on the West Coast where it'd be 6 p.m. Pacific for them. So I'm trying to think like, if people work till 5, kind of give that grace period. And due to my schedule right now with dance, typically my shows are Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then the True Crime and Chills on Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. So depending on the show, like sometimes that might fluctuate a little bit. Like for example, next Thursday, with the authors of JC Brain Cutting to the Truth, we're going to be starting it at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, just because I have something after work, and then we'll be able to come home, and I needed that half hour because I hate being late. So I don't want to be like, yeah, let's do it at 9. And then like I'm running late and now I'm leaving Anthony and Marshall running late. Paul, I don't care if I'm just like, Paul, wait for me. It's fine. Deal with it. But I don't want to leave Anthony and Marshall late. So, okay. Let's see. We are all K-Dogs. We are all being manipulated by the powers that be to start chaos. One world government, new world order, etc. The elites want us dependent on them, my opinion, of course. Very well said. Very well said. Embrace the chaos. It makes them mad. Let's see. I'm just biding my time until AI takes over, and then I'm turning all of you in. I totally believe that. Tony, I'm trying to be less dependent on one political party. They are here, both corrupted to the max here in the U.S., even the local, state, federal governments. That what you just said is what I feel like a lot of people have been feeling, that it's just like corruption across, like you can't trust either party anymore. I love what you just said. Forget the news and what we are told. Just have a network of people and ask them what they see. It's pattern recognition. I wonder what's going on in Australia. Ask friends. Yeah, no, thank you. It's honestly, it's so, little cat emoji. It's so interesting to kind of have that, like, and again, it has to be like, people that you like, you're able to, because it's have that type of like open-mindedness to be like, hey, like, what's it like? Like, again, I'm just using, I'll just use UK as an example, right? James, like, outside looking in, what are you seeing over here? What does it look like to y'all? And a lot of times what's being said, it's like, well, that fucking sucks. Like, that's really shitty that's the way it looks to this country or to that, you know what I mean? But to be able to kind of be open-minded enough, for at least for myself, to just be like, I'll take it. Like, be honest. I want to hear it. And it's, and it's frustrating, and it's life, and it's just, yeah. But to have that like point where it's just like, yeah, just go for it. Be honest. You know what I mean? And yeah, but it's super frustrating too, because it's, yeah, you're not hearing great stuff right now. You know what I mean? With what's, yeah. There is no bond that can unite the divided, but love all else is a curse. You are like, I have to say, you are on fire tonight with like, it's just everything you're saying is just so well framed. You know what I mean? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Paul, you know what? You laugh, but like, you would miss me. You would miss me. Maybe for like a second, but you would. My opinion is the golden truth and everyone else is wrong. You know what? Like, Tony, that's funny, but like, there are so many people that are just like, my way or the highway, right? Like, for real. I'm keeping my mouth shut in Europe and the UK. Fair. Paul, I am shocked that Paulcast, that you are in this chat right now and not like just going for it right now. I have no filter. And that's why I feel you. That's why we vibe, because I'm the same way. And again, I'm very much like in this moment, like with this conversation of just keep like making the floor open to kind of talk about what's going on right now, like to just be like neutral and just be like, don't jump in and just, yeah. But no, I feel you. You are so full of it. No, I start on when I'm like 10 seconds over 9 o'clock. There's always one of you that will be like, she's late. When Paul and Beckham can attest, when we did the Manson saga, I like behind the camera when like, y'all, I'm super prompt. I'd be like, you guys, now, like, stop, like now, go live now. Cause I hate making people wait. Hate it. So they had to always deal with me being like, because like they would have just kept, oh yeah, and one more thing before we jump. I'm like, nope, let's go. Every single show. And we used to do like sometimes 2 or 3 a week, every single show. I don't know how I put up with the 2 of them as much as I did, Paul and Beckham. I really don't. The real and only divide is class money. When a left-wing millionaire meets a right-wing millionaire and they are both different, they do not talk about anything other than business or money. Kato, look at some Chase Hughes podcast. I have not heard of that podcast at all. So, okay, interesting. If everybody make note of that. It's going to be a rough winter. Zach, that is putting it so mildly. But you are right. I just noticed a cop sitting on the south side of the courthouse. Made me think they are watching my text and keeping an eye on me. Maybe a little paranoid. Maybe a little paranoid, but also, you know what, like, Tony, I firmly believe, like, in this day and age and time, like, nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing is off the table. You know what I mean? As a possibility. Okay, no, let me rewind. I was surprised with the Cheshire police sergeant who was busted for trying to solicit a prostitute and then said, oh, I do this to save them. That did surprise me. But yeah, it's because I went off on you and Beckham and Liz earlier today. No, that's fair. Y'all, a Paulcast rant is quite something to go through. It really is. It was definitely a good idea for me not to be on camera tonight, though I would have been nodding off. Oh, no, Paul, people like you on camera, Paul. They really do. And by they, I'm thinking maybe 1 or 2 people. Trust me, chat. I'm not speaking for you and saying like, because I don't want someone messaging me being like, Danny, I do not like Paul on camera. And I'd be like, I feel you. But 1 or 2 people might. So like sometimes you gotta please some people. It is what it is. Oh, Danny, thanks, my dear. I think my chat is delayed, but no, I'm behind. I am behind. I'm at the time 4 minutes behind in the chat because I can see when y'all the time you type it, and I'm 4 minutes behind. But thank you. I appreciate you. I really do. My dark Twitter bio has a disclaimer. Opinions posted are my own, but they should be yours too. Oh, that's funny. I have never had a Twitter account, and I don't ever intend to. In other content creators, like when I mention like, oh, I'm not on Twitter, and they're like, don't do it. I always thought like YouTube, like parts of YouTube was toxic, but like people are like, no, Twitter's like so toxic and hateful and this and this. I'm like, I've never had it. Never go on. I'm fine. So that's interesting. But I like that that's your, that's what you post. I think that's cool. If only adults are involved, it is okay to be a pervert. Okay, dog. I think we're going to table that conversation for another time. Yes. Am I behind or did you type that again? I felt like I just read that. Or maybe you're double paranoid if you typed it twice. Casey's, I don't know who that is. Okay, I choose to be happy. I love that, Renee. I love that. I'm not going to let people ruin my life over something I can't fix. I did my bit for my country a long time ago. Oh my gosh, Renee. I just like, you make my soul so happy. Like you're one of those people, honestly, like when we, like me, Paul and Beckham, like, I don't want to say it, like we don't talk about people behind the scenes because like that's like not cool type of thing. But like when we think back on our trip to LA and like having the opportunity to have gone to Spawn Ranch and to have met with so many of you guys who live in that area and took time out of your busy lives and schedules and to come see us and hang out at the ranch and have Izzy do a tour for us and like to be able to meet some of you guys like outside of the YouTube parameter was like super cool and such a gift in itself. But like Renee, like you and your life and your story, like you're just such an open person. And like, honestly, like I feel like, and I don't like to speak for other people, but I feel like I can speak for Paul and Beckham. Like meeting you had like, I feel like it just like, it enriches us. Like meeting you has enriched my soul as a person. And I truly, truly mean that. There's just sometimes people you meet and you're just like blown away and you're just like fascinated by them and their journey and not only where they've been, but where they're going and like the way they view life. And you're just one of those souls and one of those people where I'm just like my life is better knowing you, if that makes sense. And I'm waiting for, I know I'm a few minutes behind the chat. I'm waiting for James Stewart. I'm totally mixing you guys. James Watson and Tony Stewart to jump in and be like, well, what about us? What about us? But I really mean that, Renee. And that is very well phrased right there. You're saying you cooled down. Yeah, it is cool down here too in Mass. People are whipping out the winter jackets. I'm like, you know what, a little overboard. The in between, like you need more than a t-shirt. You don't need your full on winter jacket, but yeah, no, it's getting cool. It is getting real cool. Let's see. Paul is cool. Well, Tony Stewart, see, your politics comments like won't get you necessarily timed out here with me, but like a comment like that will. So I'm just saying, hell, I don't like Paul on camera. Twitter has a lot of good political news for me. It's people are on it for a reason. I've never had a Twitter account. I'm always like late to technology, like always. Like Instagram was around for so long before I was like, maybe I should do an Instagram. And I still remember I just left a volunteer shift at the cat shelter and there was a cat that I took and I still remember the picture. I still remember the cat. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cute. I want to share it. Like, yeah, I guess I can post it on like, Facebook or whatever. But like Facebook was just kind of, it's kind of winding down, I guess, if you will. I feel like Instagram's like, I was like, let me open an Instagram. I got years behind. And then TikTok, I only did for the show. And I know I'm behind on that. And TikTok's been around forever, but like I'm slow to technology. But yet Twitter a lot of people are on it for that, which totally cool. Totally cool. Okay, so it wasn't just me. Zach, you saw it too. Twitter has toxic. So I've been told by so many people. So I've been told. Okay. I was like, either you're double paranoid or I just like re-clicked it twice. Y'all, Tony, you're giving us a laugh tonight. X is absolutely is an absolute cesspool, which is good for its absolute swamp thing of an owner. Did you see old Elon's dad saying if white people became the minority in the U.S. will fail? Oh God, Elon Musk. I feel like he like ebbs and flows into like what is like breaking news with what's going on here in the state. Like it's like ebbs and flows with him, right? Sometimes it's like so much Elon Musk focus, and other time it's like crickets. But yeah, I've never been on Twitter, but a lot of friends and people that that I have on it when it went from Twitter to X. Like I remember like the uproar. It seemed like everybody was in an uproar about it, like across the board, from my recollection. I choose to be happy too. Oh, James, I just bottle my rage deep down inside me. I'll let it out at the appropriate person at the appropriate time. I love that. Hell yeah, Renee, you're a vet. Thank you for your service. Well said, Paul. Absolutely. Oh, love that. Love it. Could have done without the trip to the hospital, but the rest of it was super fun. Paul, it made it. There's always that like laugh in hindsight. I'm sticking to like I saved Paul's life while we were in LA. Like I saved his life. I can do many things. You didn't, as much as like going to the hospital, like Paul, and all honesty, like it really sucked because like one, it's on a trip that's supposed to be a lot of fun, but two, it's in another country for you, but you didn't tumble down the hill like Beckham did, and it wasn't caught on camera. So you always have that, Paul, like when you look back. I'm trying. That's like one of my favorite clips of all of life is like Beckham tumbling down the hill. So good. Oh my God, so good. I'll probably look that up tonight. I'm not going to lie. Oh yeah, Karen Diamond. Absolutely. I don't know what it was like before I joined I like it for, I feel like most businesses are on Instagram now. So like, I feel like that's how I discover new things is like, because if I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That new, like, I'm trying to transition from Starbucks, like, oh, that new like local coffee place or that place with like the protein drinks and the mega tea. I'm obsessed with mega teas right now. Right. And it's like, I Google them and it's like, oh, go to their website, Instagram. It's like businesses are like all on Instagram now, which is interesting. But maybe the pages you follow, James. Don't read my next comment on stream if it's too edgy. Okay, let me read it. Let's see, you can go. No, not too edgy. Okay. UK voting is all-time low, so low. We have realized we can't vote our way out, so starting communities. Elon Musk is the ultimate nerd, but you telling me that guy doesn't need glasses? He's not even legit. Put on some. I'm not an Elon Musk fan. So, yeah. Richard, good to see you, hun. I hope you're doing well. I hope your cat is doing amazing. We've had several dustings of that's the worst 4-letter word you could ever type in here right now. Snow. And it's been cold this week in Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania. However, I still wear shorts to the gym year round. The world deserves nothing less. Amazing. Yeah, I have another podcast friend that she's in Canada. I want to say Quebec. My podcast friend Stephanie, I want to say Quebec, and she posted a picture on Instagram. Was it this past week? And it was like, I think it was like her backyard or back deck or something, and it was like a dusting of snow, and I was like, what the hell? Like, no. Oh, if you're getting dustings in Pennsylvania, it's yeah, being in Massachusetts, yeah, we're not that far behind you. That's sad. So sad. But props to you for still going to the gym in shorts year round. That's amazing. Good for you, hon. I think we need to put an SOS out. I'm concerned. I think my favorite moment, what you did to the nature camera. I think my favorite moment was what you did to the nature camera. Can you jog my memory? Yeah, please. I know I'm a few minutes behind. Please jog my memory. Oh my God, James Watson. I can't with Beckham. Like, I have to think back and be like, all right, I need to give him some grace, because in Texas, people don't know how to navigate. They're not used to snow at all. And when it's icy, I get that. So it's one thing for them to be like, yeah, our roads, our school shut down, we shut down no driving because we're not equipped. We don't have, the plows, the, sand, the salt for the roads or whatnot, four-wheel drive. I get that. Not every car also in states where you don't get snow is equipped. I get that. But for Beckham to then take it to the next step and be like, oh, I had to take brush off a dusting of snow that was on my tire. I get what you guys go through every year. I'm like, excuse me, hon, what did you just say? No, you don't know what it's like to get slammed with the nor'easter of over a foot of snow at once. Even if you if you have to shovel it or if you have a snowblower, it's a lot. And especially here when it's things don't shut down. Dunkin' Donuts is still open down the street. You still got to be at work. So you're going to show up at work with your Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee when there's a foot of snow that just fell in 3 hours. Yeah, no, we're badass here. But Beckham, you had to dust off a little bit of snow off a tire. And when he's like, I know what you guys go through. All right, that's another Beckham moment I will never forget. Never forget. Let's see. Good point. But remember when YouTube launched? No one remembers this. It was a dating site. I do not remember that. Nope. That's funny. Well, I read Craigslist, right? And I know we're just kind of hanging out, bantering right now. Craigslist was once, I remember when you would look for jobs on there, and there was so many legit things way back when it now it's I know people still use Craigslist. I have not gone on Craigslist in years. It's just, couldn't imagine going on it for something. But back in the day, it was a legit place to for whatever you needed. And then the Craigslist killer happened and all of that. And then that segues into true crime very easily. But yeah. Oh, I know. His son is it still on Dancing with the Stars, or his son either was or is on Dancing with the Stars. I have not watched that show in a long time, but I see the clips on Instagram. So a lot of times it will show current seasons, but then it will show past seasons, and I just don't realize it's a past season. So he either was or is on the show Dancing with the Stars, and actually very good too. I love winter in Canada. Back east, they have 3 feet of snow. Here in BC, we walk around in t-shirts. That's amazing. Ready. Spawn Ranch had a wildlife camera, and you flashed it. Did I? Sounds like me. I don't remember. Oh, I did. Yeah, I did. Yep, that's a Danny thing. Yep. That's funny. Oh, I did this. No. Okay. Yeah. These new features on StreamYards, they added all this stuff in it's wild. and if you have a StreamYard account, you know, like the whole Mars feature, it's crazy. Like I log in to do a show and every single time there's like something new somewhere. And I'm like, what is this? What is this? Yeah, there's several new features tonight versus when I logged in on Tuesday. It's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It was working just fine. I love how I left that up there. Oh, good old days. I love snow and thunderstorms so much. I was about to super chat you and correct you, but you don't have. Oh, I've no idea. No idea. Wildlife describes bomb range perfectly. I love the snow. It's raining like hell in California. People out here refuse to slow down. Well, that's not good. Our baby Jessie. Yes, your kitty is doing great and running the show just as we need. I love that. I love that, Richard. Love that. Were you on Friendster? What is Friendster? I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. Was that an app or a website or I guess both? Yeah, I never heard of it. I kind of tried to snow like 2 days. What snow? Oh, you guys, don't say that 4-letter word, snow. It's fun to drive in the snow. Kane, I very much respectfully disagree. Very, very much. I was 20 years old. No. I was either 20 or 21, and I got caught driving in a whiteout. That was scary. Luckily, I had a friend in the car with me, and he like kept me calm. I was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It was horrible, horrible. Like we legit at one point, like, because you had to just stop driving. I was in the, like, everybody just had to stop in the middle of the road just where you were, because you got out of your car. I still remember to this day, like he got out and was like, let me just see how far up the car is in front of us. And he got out and he's like, Danielle, get out of the car. And I got out and like you legit put your hand out and you couldn't see your hand. It just like if you had stretched it, it was terrifying. It was the most terrifying thing that's ever happened. So yeah. That like has permanently scarred me. Like I will never forget that. So, and then also like, I know how to safely drive in snow. Like I'm from here, you just slow it down a little bit. Like, but it's like, oh my God, people are like, oh my God, there's rain. I forgot how to drive in rain. Or, oh, there's snow. I forgot how to drive in snow. And it's like, come on, you're from New England, you know better. Or they think they know how to do it and they just speed by and then they like, you hit a patch of ice and your brakes ain't good. It's just, and then it just crashes and it's horrible. So to me, it's stressful. I'm like, I can control myself. I cannot control the world around me. And that's what freaks me out. Shocking. I'm a control freak like that, right? Older I get, less I like winter. Tony, same wavelength. Had so much fun tonight. It was great. I'm glad you got to catch a live. It was awesome to have you here. So yeah, very, very cool. Don't be a stranger. Come in. I know it's super late where you are. Super, super late. So props to you for being still up at this time. I sure as heck wouldn't be. But yeah, don't be a stranger. Come on in. Say hello. Be like, I'm just popping in to say hi, but I'm going to bed right now. More than enough. More than enough. You're so silly. I wasn't about to say that word, but I'll just leave that. Renee. Yeah, that's a conversation. That's a conversation. Didn't my channels say he saw the ghost of the... Oh, I have no idea. No idea. Omen, David Omen, very, very generous to, I actually have like that frame right there from when we went to visit. Very generous that he lets so many people in his house to like, some people go and people leave with different experiences or different thoughts on like, I agree or I disagree, but very nice guy. David's super nice, very generous as a host. Yeah, we were supposed to go back to his place the last night we were in LA, but Paul got sick and we weren't going to leave him, so yeah. But I know Beckham has connected with David several more times because Beckham goes out to LA quite a bit more. So, but yes, that is one of the things that David says. Early form of Facebook, also MySpace. Oh, okay. MySpace I did. But I never heard of Friendster. Very interesting. In MySpace, the controversy of MySpace, what was it? Top 6 or top 8? Like you could put like your friends and you could put them in an order. So like the amount of friendships and falling outs of people like, oh, I was number 4 and you moved me to number 6. Like, and then like when you would start dating someone and you'd switch, it was just like, oh my God, it was wild. Like that thing was so like, that ranking was so stupid. So stupid. But yeah, MySpace was a thing. It was cool at the time. I remember that. Yeah, I'm sure we all have like our MySpace profiles just like floating out in the, I would love to read through mine if I ever found it, I'd be like, oh my God. Yeah. MySpace feels like 20 years ago, right? Well, it kind of was. Hey, Auntie Mimi, good to see you. I'm a bit behind in the chat. Yeah, that's like New England. That's insane. That is insane. So like you're a pro. So yeah, no, you can handle anything. You have super chats on. Oh, James. Oh my gosh, thank you. That is very, very generous. Not needed. Very generous. Thank you. Thank you so much. Very appreciated, but very generous. You did not have to do that. Thank you. Thank you. Very sweet. Always keep a couple of women around to shovel snow. K-Dog, you're lucky. It's getting near the end of the night, and I'm going to wind things down because, yeah, if you said this at the beginning of the show, I might have timed you out for a little bit. Oh my gosh, Beckham. That's all I can think. Beckham. Yep. See, he's not even here tonight, and he's like such a topic of conversation. My YouTube rank is 47. Oh, I don't even. It's back, friends. I've never heard of this. I'll have to look at it. That's wild. God, learn something new every day, right? I don't want to hear such cold weather. You would not want to say that if I had a snow shovel at hand. Yeah. I would love to see it. What you're thinking, Renee, I would love to see it. Oh my gosh. All right, everyone. I think we're going to kind of wind it down and call it for tonight. Again, the first hour was like talking about like what's going on this week. And then, yeah, the last hour has just been like let's just talk about what's going on and just kind of venturing from there. Very casual. But like, I love just being able to hang out and chill with y'all. Like it really, really is just a lot of fun. And I really enjoy it. So thank you. Thank you everybody who was here tonight and either in the chat hanging out or maybe you were just watching, but you weren't in the chat. Thank you for joining too. For anybody who is watching this on replay and you weren't able to see the live, thank you for joining. Leave a comment, leave a question, and yeah, let's just kind of engage in chat. I love that. And a reminder, next week, Anthony and Marshall and Paul will be on for the interview for JC Bring Cutting to the Truth. The week after will be book club again, Virginia Giuffre's book. So if you want to be a part of that, tune in, because I really, really would love to hear everybody's thoughts on it who have read it. And I know so many of you who either have, when the book club shows happen, either haven't read the book yet, or you're just like, oh, I'm waiting. So many of y'all will message and be like, oh, I was waiting to hear your review before I bought it. Now I will buy it. Or, oh, gee, it focuses a lot on this and that's not my thing, so I'm going to skip that one. And that's cool too, because fellow book nerds, so many other channels that I follow, podcasts I listen to, Instagram pages. Oh my God, there's so many that will do a little bit of a review and do a post. And I see that and I'm just like, oh, I'm sold. I'm buying that. So like, yeah, I get it. I totally get it. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your weekend and enjoy the rest of your evening. So remember, until next time, everybody, we don't live in darkness. Darkness lives in us. Bye, everyone.